Sometimes we are facing so many challenges that seem insurmountable. And when I say insurmountable, I'm talking about a challenge that it just seems that you can't get beyond or just won't move or you just can't get the victory in that area. Uh, what could I do an issue that I didn't have control over happening to me? There's some things that happen to us in life that we don't have a choice and we didn't initiate it and we couldn't do nothing about it. You can't do nothing about the way you were born. You can't do nothing about some things about yourself. You can't do nothing about it. When Jesus was in the flesh, he didn't just do stuff for showing off, you know. He was showing what was available to the believer and what he do for one in principle, he will do for another because he is no respecter of a person. So we're going to look at the story of this leopard, and then we're going to see what we can do about our situation. And in looking at this story, we're going to see that there was hard times. Then we're going to see that he heard about Jesus. Then we're going to see that they humbled themselves. Then we're going to see that they heeded the word. Then we're going to see the healing of the plague. And then we're going to see the highly thanking him. And then we're going to see that he was made totally holy last. Now, if you notice, all those start with an H, and it start with an H for a purpose. For alliteration, so that you'll be able to remember it more easier. You'll be able to write it down, and then if you ain't taking no notes, you'll be able to remember it more easier. Now, when we look at the story right here, at these leopards right here, we look at the situation that these guys was in may not be the same situation that you may be in. You may be dealing with something totally different, but the same principle work in every area of our life. You know, I don't know what your need may be. Your need may be something else, but you can relate it to this situation. See, something happen in life you just can't control. You was born a male. You can't help that. You can't change that. You don't decide what gender you be before you be born. You was born black. Well, you can't help that. That was something that was did before you ever came on the scene. You can't help what raised you in. You was born white, or you was born some other nationality. Well, see, there's some things about you. Tell your neighbor some things you ain't got no control over. And see, sometimes we don't have control over some things, and we let them worry, and we can't do nothing about it, but there is somebody that can do something. See, now one thing about it, if you were born, whatever race you were born, I'm going to tell you the basics of what had to be did about that. You will have to learn to be thankful unto God and to be satisfied with what you is that you can't change. See, you got to learn to love it. You understand what I'm saying? Just like when we went camping, some folk had tents, some had RV, but them people in them tents, they were just enjoying. They enjoyed the stage. You have to enjoy where you at before you move to another level. Now, when we look at this story right here in Luke the 17th chapter, verse 11 through 19, I'm going to read all these verses, and then I'm going to go back over some of them. But I ain't going to take you all over the Bible like I did last time. Okay? And it came to pass as he went to Jerusalem, Luke the 17th chapter, verse 11 through 19, that he passed through the midst of Samaria and Galilee. Now, he headed somewhere, ain't he? But while he headed somewhere, he got to go through some things. See, before you get where you need to go, you going to go through some things. You're going to go through some things, but God trying to get you somewhere. You're going to go through some things, but in order for him to get where he's going, he got to go through a place. And then it said right here, and as he entered into a certain village, there met him 10 men that were lepers, which stood afar off. And he lifted up their voice and said, Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. And when he saw them, he said unto them, go show yourself unto the priest. And it came to pass that as they went, they were cleansed. And one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back with a loud voice, glorifying God, and fell down on his face at his feet. So he fell down on his face at his feet, and then fell down on his face at his feet, giving him thanks. And he was a Samaritan. And Jesus answered, saying, were there not 10 clean? But where are the 9? There are not found that return to give glory to God, save this stranger. And he said unto him, arise, go thy way, thy faith have made thee whole. Now, when we look at this situation right here, we understand that as Jesus entered into a certain village, there met him 10 men that were lepers. Now, when we look at this was a hard time for these guys. They were facing a hard time. Now, the reason why I say they were facing a hard time, and one thing you have to realize, that before we can get our needs met, we must agree that we have a need. So if you never know you got a need in an area, you ain't got to the starting point to getting that need met. So now these guys had a hard time. I don't know what your hard time may be. But now we see the leper's hard time. Let me tell you what their hard time was. It was actually